Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how some simple EQ moves can completely change your mix, and I'm going to jump straight to the point. So let's go ahead and take a listen to these pianos. I've got a group of 2 pianos, and I'll go through them individually here in a second, but go ahead, I've got them soloed. Listen to the before and the after. Before I've got this EQ, and then after I've got some mid-side EQ, and then I'm going to go through and show you exactly how I did it. So let's take a listen right now. Okay, so you can hear a pretty big difference there. The before version is kind of muddy and it's not very bright and it lacks some presence. The after version isn't that muddy and it is kind of bright and nice. And then if we actually listen to it in the context of the entire mix, let's go ahead and take a listen here. So here's before and after. So what I hear there is that the before version kind of interferes with like the bass a little bit, and the after is just kind of fits nicer and you can kind of hear it a little bit more, and it's just like it has its place in the mix. And so I'm going to solo these again, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did here. So I'm going to grab a new EQ8, and before I actually show you, let me just explain what mid-side EQ is. I know it's one of those things, especially if you're new or a beginner, can seem daunting. You're like, oh, mid-side EQ, is that super advanced? It's actually really simple. And so all it is the mid just means mono. So that's all the information in the center of the speaker. That's the audio that's in the mono in the middle. Mid side is the stereo information. It's the sides. It's so stuff on the left and the right. And so basically, if you take this EQ and you put it into mid-side mode here, and then let's say if you adjust mid, you're going to take that, like if you lower the mono, then the stuff in the middle is going to get lower. And if you raise it, it's going to get higher. Same with the sides. You can listen to the side. And this is how you can kind of make a mix sound wider by boosting the side information. And that's what we're going to do here in a little bit. And it kind of gives it a wide sound because you're taking the sides and boosting them up. So mid-side really just means mono, stereo, mid-side, okay? And so we're going to leave this here. And actually the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put it on, we're going to leave it on side. And I'm going to start a new curve here, make this a filter. And we're actually just going to get rid of the side information of the lower part of the piano. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. And but first, before we start, I've got 2 pianos here. I've got the Korg M1, which has been processed a little bit. It's got some EQ and some widener on it. So it sounds like this. And then I have this contact piano, the Giant. I usually like to layer pianos, a contact or a Native Instruments piano with a Korg M1. Just for sake of demonstration, I'll actually, because this is actually EQ'd quite a bit, I'll add some more of the bass just to see what else we can do, because I like to process things in groups quite a bit. It works quite well. So I added back in some bass there, and then we'll just see what we can do with some EQ8 here. So first with the sides. So one thing you can note is with the Ableton EQ, if you hit this headphone button, wherever you grab and hold on to, that's the sides, right? So you hear that kind of ping-pongy. Basically, when you grab onto something, you're just going to hear that frequency range. We'll do that a little bit, but what we're actually going to do is more EQing in context. So let's go ahead and we're going to remove a lot of the we're going to remove the side information from the low end. It's actually kind of hard to hear when you solo that, but let's go ahead and go like this, and we'll listen in context. And then we're just going to boost the highs. Let's just hear how that sounds already. Because in general, if you think about mixing, you almost want to make it like an upside down pyramid. So you've got like the kick and the sub and the bass is in the middle, and then it kind of goes up like this, and then your high stuff kind of goes out, you know, like wide. And so if you just boost like this, and now let's switch over to mono, and then check this out. And I'm gonna do another little filter here, just to kind of dial in the bass frequencies. And then we're going to, usually in the 200, 250 range, there is some muddiness. Like I'll go ahead and show you if you do the solo button. Listen to how this sounds right here. So I'll boost it up quite a bit. So right there, if we just dip it a little bit, we're going to get rid of some of the potential muddiness. So if you hold down Alt, it actually adjusts the Q. And I'm going to do it in context. Ever so slightly. And so let's go ahead and leave that there. And then now let's just go back and forth again. So here's no EQ with then EQ on. And you can even go to mid and then check out the mid range over here, or the the mono, maybe lower it just a little bit, and then go back to sides. Maybe let's not have it too high, make it too bright. Okay. Now let's go ahead and one last listen. I did that kind of quick. I might spend some more time dialing that in, but you can really hear a big difference there. And now let's go ahead and listen in the context of the entire mix. And so let's go ahead. I'll start a little bit before the drop. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to show you when it's off and on, okay? So it is a pretty big difference. You might not hear it if you're like really super beginner, but it does fit into the mix quite well. And what I noticed when I was referencing a DoD track, and I listened to his piano, and I was going back and forth between my track and his, and I'm like, oh, you know, there is something a bit off about my pianos. Let me go ahead and dive deep into this. And then it turned out the pianos could have used I cleaned up the pianos, and now the mix sounds a lot better. And so I wanted to show you this, mid-side EQ and how you can utilize it to really, especially I like using it in grouping, to really, have a group of instruments and just really dial them in instead of just kind of doing one at a time. You can do, which you can do as well, but a group of instruments, mid-side EQ can really make a big difference. And don't be afraid to use mid-side EQ. It's like one of those advanced things, and you're like, oh, maybe you want to keep things basic. Well, just try it. Just take a mid-side EQ, mess around with it. The best way to learn in anything is by actually doing it. And so I encourage you to grab this and check it out. And so that's it for today's video. Go ahead and look in the description below. I've got some free stuff down there. I've got my free mix training with my free ebook and, mixing and mastering checklists. So if you need to know like everything you need to learn in order to mix and master your music, as well as my mix and mastering diagram. And I've also got my free school community down there below. So check that stuff out, and I'll see you guys again next time.